59 on the season.
The onslaught continues.
Pilar racing back. Got it! What a catch on the track by Pilar.
J.D. Martinez. Is it 4? It's gone. J.D. Martinez homers in 4 consecutive plate appearances. Jackson's back. He leads. He made an unbelievable catch. He flipped into the bullpen.
Pitch on the way. Ground ball right side into the shift to his left. Altuve has it in short right, throws to first, and the Astros are 2017 World Series champions.
Hey everyone, welcome to 1225 Live. I'm Alexa Datt. The baseball world had emotional ties to last night's national championship game, the thriller between Alabama and Georgia. We're going to show you how Bulldog superfan Josh Reddick reacted to the loss, unfortunately, but his reaction was pretty priceless. We're also going to talk about Hot Take Tuesday, because that's what we do every Tuesday here on the show. Alyson Footer is going to join us in a little bit. And let me give you a couple of statements, and you let me know if you think these are hot takes. Here's the first one. Jake Arrieta will play with the Cardinals in 2018. Manny Machado will be part of the Yankees on opening day. And the Red Sox will choose not to sign J.D. Martinez. Which one of those do you believe is the hottest hot take? You let us know here today on the show. And Alyson Footer is going to fill us in just a little bit. Dani and I have our own hot takes as well, as we welcome her to the show right now. Dani, happy National Apricot Day.
Apricot, right? We talked about this, not apricot.
Not apricot. If you say it wrong, you're kicked off the show.
Well, I think that I'm going to be kicked off for other reasons anyway, so I guess I'll just say apricot just in case. But listen, you know what I was thinking? That we're giving our hot takes, but it's not even hot out. We're giving hot takes in this icy cold weather. I just really wish it would warm up. We have pitchers and catchers reporting in, 30-something days?
Yeah, but Dani, that's what the hot takes are for. The hot takes are to heat up the room, to get everyone going, get your blood boiling, because I'm going to say something that people are not going to be fond of.
Well, maybe they are.
Yeah, some people will.
Some people
I'm
will
sure.
be.
That's totally going to be cool. They're going to maybe just be warm and cuddly and feel good about it. But some people are going to be boiling mad, which is exactly what Hot Take Tuesday is about. All right, so let's start us off. Hot Take Tuesday. Here is my hot take. I'm going to start talking about Jake Arrieta, right? Jake Arrieta won the NL Cy Young Award in 2015 with the Cubs.
Sure.
He won a World Series in 2016 with the Cubs.
Yeah.
He went back to the postseason in 2017 with the Cubs. In 2018, however, he will not be a member of the Cubs, partially because his former team has little to no interest in bringing him back, but also because Arrieta wants to prove to his former team that they made a big mistake by not bringing him back, and he's going to prove that exact sentiment, that he is better than how they felt about him with their division rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals need an ace to bolster this rotation. He's going to join Carlos Martinez, who had a strong year. He's going to help mentor Alex Reyes, who's coming back from Tommy John surgery. The Cardinals are going to overpay for Arrieta, but Arrieta is going to pay them back, and this is what he's going to do. He's going to join the Cardinals, and then he is going to throw the first no-hitter of 2018 against his former team, against the Cubs. Welcome to 2018, Jake Arrieta. You are going to be with the Redbirds.
I'm speechless. I
so
am
enough
speechless.
Hot Take on Tuesday.
It is Hot Take Tuesday. You did this justice. I really like this, and I see your hot take. I understand it, and I think that it could happen. And I think Cardinals fans would be a big fan of it happening, because anything to help that starting rotation is always good news. And
Sure.
a guy who can eat the innings is great news as well.
Yeah, but if you're a Cubs fan, you're crying in your soup right now. You can't handle it.
As is the rest of the NL Central, in my humble opinion.
Sure, yep.
So a lot of our reporters, in fact, all of our reporters, have been putting on their projection hats. They're projecting right now starting lineups. They're projecting bullpens and rotations. And Mr. Bill Chastain, who covers the Rays for us for MLB.com, convinced me of my hot take today. And my hot take for Tuesday is that the Tampa Bay Rays are going to the wild card and will win the AL wild card. And let me give you a couple reasons why. Listen, if the Rays lineup and rotation can stay intact pending any Chris Archer, Jake Odorizzi trades, they're going to earn that wild card and win. They have Archer, Odorizzi as their 1-2 punch, Kiermaier, Span, Duffy Dickerson, and Steven Souza Jr. That is the top of their lineup leading off. And they've got top prospect Christian Arroyo He is number 4 in the Rays prospect. Evan Longoria obviously heading out, so that brought in a couple of prospects to bolster that farm system, which is incredible. And listen, what else they've got? The wild card last year was anyone's. That AL wild card was coming down to the last week. The Rays were in the thick of it just up until the end. So in my eyes, hot take, they're going to win that wild card. And I think that they're going to head to the playoffs for real this year.
Okay, so we were kind of talking about this earlier. That is a hot take. That's the super hottest hot take. Also because I believe a lot of these Rays won't be with the team this year. I think Alex Colomé could be out too, and
that's right.
Will be without
saves
a closer.
Leader. Alex Colomé saves leader, so he's with the team. They're going still.
Yeah, all right. I like it. And you were talking about how they would play the Angels potentially in a wild card matchup. Does that mean the Red Sox don't make the postseason, Dani?
That's what that means.
Because I would have the Yankees winning the division at least, correct?
Of course.
Wow.
Listen, from my lips to your ears.
That might even be the hottest hot take of the afternoon.
Listen, if Colomé, Archer, Odorizzi, Snell, Kiermaier, all those guys, if they're there and they can make it through the first half of the season, I think that they're going to head to that wild card and they're going to outlast the Red Sox. We talked about the Red Sox rotation yesterday.
Yeah.
They've got a strong rotation, but they've got guys who maybe are a little bit weaker and could be stronger. So we'll see if they can get their act together.
Yeah, it depends on if David Price gives you a full, healthy season, and then
Rick
also
Porcello.
if they add a big bat. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. All right, those are our hot takes.
We're doing it.
Starting off Tuesday, super on fire
Bringing
here
the heat.
today. Yeah. Last night we saw obviously some great drama in the national championship game between Georgia and Alabama. This one was a thriller. I was watching it on my couch and absolutely melting into my couch. The first half was an absolute snooze fest, and it picked up around the third and fourth quarter, and then obviously it went into overtime. Caught the attention of a bunch of players in baseball, though, who have ties to either Georgia or Alabama, and we know Josh Reddick is a super huge Bulldogs fan. He was on the network earlier this week talking about it. You know, the fact that he is so loyal to UGA is a testament to his personality, but he was feeling confident that he was going to add a national championship to his World Series when the Dogs had that lead, right, 13-0 at halftime.
That's right. And speaking of halftime, I don't know if everyone came to watch the actual game. A lot of people just came to see Kendrick Lamar put on that concert in Atlanta outside. And you know who was a fan? Taiwan Walker. He came, throw up those fire emojis, Lex. I know you love that halftime show, too.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really cool, and he did a really good job melting a lot of his songs kind of into a medley.
That's right. And then we look at the second half. Finally, Bama coming to life, making this an actual game, scoring that touchdown, cutting the game 13-7. And our friend Justin Turner took notice. He was a fan. He said, "Uh-oh." He saw that roll tide coming.
But then Georgia had the huge answer because Jake from State Farm, the Little League World Series alum, had the long touchdown pass, and Trey Turner decides to have the game over tweet. He goes ahead and calls it #CFB Championship. It's over, he said, thinking it was over. Not quite.
Not quite. As everyone thought it was over, the Tide comes rolling back. The chance to win it with that field goal. All you got to do is kick the field goal in regulation. Mike Clevenger, the prophet, predicts wide left, and he's right. He saw it coming. The game goes to OT.
Yeah, and no stopping Bama in OT. It really was pretty impressive, the fact that they were able to get this done. Jimmy Nelson, who is coming back from Tommy John surgery, celebrates. Josh Moker said it best, perfectly summing up the crazy championship game, and the fact that Nick Saban was able to win, I believe, his 5th championship. Pretty beautifully done, and the fact that baseball had such an emotional tie made it even sweeter for us.
Josh Moker is everybody last night, because I was just telling you, I didn't know. I tuned out. I turned it off. No, I didn't have any hands in the game, but I turned it off. I woke up this morning to find out that Bama came back, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me right now.
Yeah, Georgia was up big in the third quarter. I was like, this is insane. I can't believe this is even happening. And the fact that they won, it was almost like, fine, you just got to give us Alabama.
Just give it to them at this point. 5 championships in 9 years, so Saban is the magical man.
Yeah.
So listen, poor Josh Reddick.
Poor Josh Reddick. Super huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. He was rocking the checkered suit on MLB Network earlier this week.
It was blinding.
And the guy's heart is just absolutely broken.
It's fine. He won a World Series.
He's got that, yeah.
He'll be okay.
He's got some belts of his own,
That's
some
right.
championships of his own that he's stocking up there in his hardware shelf.
He'll be just fine. So that leads us to our question of the day, because that game, the national championship, went to overtime. That got us thinking, what are some of the greatest baseball games that have gone into extra innings? And by the way, I'm really impressed with our back and forth between football and baseball, and not crossing over all those keywords, just thinking in my head there, my left and my right. So we want to know from you guys on Facebook. If you're not on, head over right now. What are some of your favorite extra inning games? Have you been to an extra inning game that you couldn't believe kept going? Did you stay? Did you leave early and your team came back?
Please don't even tell me if you left early. I want to hear it. I will call you out so bad if you left early.
You tell me, let me know. I will hug you and I will protect you. Don't you worry. So let us know on Facebook if you've been to one, what your favorite one was. We're going to reveal ours at the end of the show, so let us know.
All right, sounds good. Time for us to talk about hot takes. Since it is Hot Take Tuesday, we welcome in our national correspondent, Alyson Footer. Alyson, always good to see you. We're talking extra inning baseball. What's the best extra inning game you've ever been to?
That would be the 18-inning game in 2005 in the division series between the Astros and the Braves. So that game started at noon Central Time. We were all grumbling about, well, I never grumble about early start times, but there were some people grumbling about early start times. And that thing went over 6 hours. I got back to my house at 10 o'clock at night. It was amazing. It was nerve-wracking. Chris Burke hit a walk-off home run to, clinch the division series for the Astros. It was, Roger Clemens coming in to pitch 3 innings of relief. He desperately wanted to have an at-bat so he could be the one to hit the home run. He swung so hard. I thought he was going to tear, every muscle in his abdominal. And he struck out, by the way. And then Chris Burke, who was the guy who was maybe never going to get a starting opportunity at second base because of Craig Biggio. And there he was stepping up to the plate in the 18th inning, and we were all exhausted, as was he. And he said later that he just felt so bad for the fans that they had been standing up for the last 3 hours. He desperately wanted to end that game, and he'd put a ball into the left field, and it was so much fun. It was one of my favorite games to cover.
I'll tell you, though, as a fan, free baseball is the best baseball, and I wouldn't pass it up for anything. It's one of the most thrilling things that can happen in sports, for sure. Second only to hot takes that we have here on the show, and it is Hot Take Tuesday, Alyson. So I'm going to give you some hot takes, and you're going to tell me how likely they are to happen this season, okay? So let's start off with the latest news. Latest news comes from you, Alyson. The Astros are looking for another high-end arm, and you got the GM on record saying that this is true. This is exactly what they're looking for this offseason. Whether it comes to fruition or not, that is what is on their agenda. They're in talks with the Pirates about Garrett Cole as an option. So here's the hot take. Garrett Cole is part of a dominant Astros rotation, including Dallas Keuchel, Lance McCullers, and Justin Verlander in 2018.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that is not what they have in mind. I feel like they've got their sights on something a little bit more, and I only say that because Garrett Cole is under contract for another 2 years before he becomes a free agent. And I think they're trying to protect themselves against I don't know if it's inevitable, but a very likely chance that Dallas Keuchel leaves via free agency in 1 more year. And so I'm not sure that just getting 1 extra year out of Garrett Cole is what they're looking for. Of course, that's the rumor that was out there. That was the concrete name that we were given, or that we had heard later as far as who they might be targeting. I kind of think Chris Archer makes a little bit more sense. And by the way, I think the news yesterday that they were going to be asking, the Pirates are going to be asking for Kyle Tucker or Forrest Whitley to be in that trade. I think that's a way overpay for Garrett Cole. So I'm going to have to say that I don't think that's going to happen. By the way, that was Jim Crane, the owner, yesterday, who just threw that bomb on us. It was hilarious because we're like, hey, anything going on? And he's like, well, we're actively pursuing a high-end starter. I'm like, can we go on the record about that, please? He even made a joke that Jeff Luhnow, the GM, wishes he wouldn't talk like this. But he likes throwing things out there, and they're definitely in the market for somebody. And I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like they're aiming higher than Garrett Cole. I could be wrong.
Yeah, awesome, though, that you were able to get that information from him, and that he's just so casually was like, yeah, let me just give you a bit of news that I know you've been looking for a while here, because this market is so slow right now. So very nicely done. We were really impressed. Let's talk about our second hot take here. We got Jake Arrieta, a free agent, obviously looking for a home. In 2017, he struck out 3 times as many batters as he walked, finished with a 3.53 ERA. Here's the hot take. You tell me how likely or unlikely this is. Arrieta joins the division rival Cardinals for 2018.
I think that's likely to happen. I guess I should say that wouldn't shock me. Jake Arrieta, I like the body of work. Obviously what he's done up until this point has been pretty amazing. a great pitcher. I just, you know how I am about when guys go free agent, they're getting paid for what they did and probably not necessarily what they're going to be doing, which might be a little bit less than we've seen as they do get a little bit older. And he's had, his injury issues as well. But that wouldn't shock me if the Cardinals definitely could use an arm, and he seems to maybe be a good fit. So I would say likely to happen.
All right. Interesting, too, because, we've seen players go from the Cubs to the Cardinals before, probably give him a little bit more extra motivation to beat his former team if they didn't feel like he was good enough to come back. So all of that adds fuel to the fire, which I love in these division rivals. All right, let's talk about the Yankees, already obviously the biggest winners of the offseason. They're looking to possibly upgrade their third baseman for opening day and bringing back Todd Frazier. As we know, he's a free agent. That's a possibility, but here's the hot take. The Yankees add Manny Machado as their third baseman for opening day 2018. How unlikely or likely is that?
I mean, we have been hearing rumblings that could happen. That is a possibility. It's not completely out of the question that they could come to a deal. I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning toward unlikely. Certainly by opening day, I know opening day is a ways away, but it's not that. It's. I don't know. I'm not sure that I want to, if I had to actually sacrifice something to put my opinions on these hot takes, I think that I would probably err on the side of caution and say unlikely.
Do you believe that Manny Machado will be with the Orioles, or do you believe he's going somewhere else?
I think I would guess that he would start the season with the Orioles and then would be dealt maybe by the deadline. But, that's just a guess. And I say that mainly because it's because the Orioles ownership just likes to veto trades, even if they come up with a really good one. Owners get way more attached to their players than general managers ever have or ever will. And I think that is an issue up there.
Yeah, and I know the Yankees have some money issues to deal with first in terms of getting under that tax. But listen, if they could get Jacoby Ellsbury to potentially waive that no-trade clause, that could solve some issues for them too. So, I don't know, intra-division would be tough for a lot of fans, I know, but it's been done before, so it wouldn't be too crazy. Speaking of the AL East, so let's talk about JD Martinez, obviously the biggest free agent bat. People have been saying it's a foregone conclusion he's going to the Red Sox. Why would we even talk about him going anywhere else? But here's the hot take. Let's say the Red Sox are feeling no pressure at all to sign JD Martinez, and in fact, don't sign him. They go ahead and save some money and sign a guy like Logan Morrison instead. How do you feel about that hot take?
I'm not sure that I like Logan Morrison as instead of JD Martinez in terms of production, but I think that would be something that they wouldn't mind having out there publicly, maybe whispering that to somebody. Here's the thing with free agents, JD Martinez may be waiting for the Red Sox to offer him more than 5 years, but somebody else has to do the same thing. So the Red Sox are not going to bid against themselves. And so I question, and with a lot of these guys, I mean, not just JD Martinez, but there's you see these, anonymous source quotes that are like, well, you Darvish might, he might be interested in the Twins, but maybe his price tag is $20 to $25 million a year, and that would put the Twins out of the running. And then you're like, well, who's offering that? And that's kind of where we are. It just seems like teams are like, we're good without you. By the way, that free agent class next year looks way more enticing. So when you're the best free agent of the class that you're in, doesn't make you a better player. It's like you are who you are, and it's up to the front offices to make sure that they're not overvaluing you just because you happen to be the best hitter that's coming out of in this free agent class, and maybe not necessarily someone who needs to have $180 million coming toward him.
Yeah, and his agent is our favorite Dr. Seuss author. That's not Dr. Seuss and Scott Boras. So they're willing to do their standoff for as long as it takes in order to get one of them to budge. So that'll be interesting. Free agent frenzy is littered with 2017 Royals, obviously. Most of them rumored to go to new teams. You got Lorenzo Cain to the Giants, possibly. Eric Hosmer to the Padres, maybe. Mike Moustakas, a handful of different places. But here's the hot take. Both Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas returned to the returned to the Royals in 2018. What do you feel about that?
For both of them, I don't see that really happening. And, I feel for both of these players. I feel especially for Eric Hosmer again. a tremendous player, but obviously looking for something more than what he's being offered right now. And here he is in a situation where he has won 2 pennants with the Royals and 1 World Series. He has been the face of that franchise, Mike Moustakas as well. And now they're like, okay, do we stay where we're comfortable, where we're happy in Kansas City, where the rebuild is going to have to start at some point. And then they become sour on everything within a couple of years. Maybe they regret that decision. Now, the other thing is that Eric Hosmer has supposedly, reportedly, who knows, but has a nice offer from the Padres. And you're like, you're really like, are you going to commit 6 or 7 years to them and really put your faith in the idea that they are trying to be competitive and they will be a legitimate World Series contender at some point when you're still a productive player and able to get things done. And so that's like a huge gamble. I mean, it seems, we talked about the Padres having that rock star offseason. I mean, that was like a really long time ago. And that was a complete failure. And then they've tried to do it right. And I think that they're on the right track, but you never know when ownership is going to come in and be like, cut $30 million off the payroll and let's start this thing over. So you really have to, I feel for Eric Hosmer that he's kind of waiting for that legitimate contender to come knocking on his door, and it doesn't seem to really be happening.
Yeah, if I'm Eric Hosmer, I'm doing the exact same thing. So, yeah, I feel you, and I don't blame him. But it'll be interesting to see if one does arise. All right, let's talk about the Twins, who are looking to add a frontline starter to pair with Irvin Santana and Jose Barrios there. Yu Darvish has a history with the GM there, obviously from his days with the Rangers. Here's the hot take. Yu Darvish heads back to the AL, but this time it's with the Twins, and he helps the Twins close the gap in the division between the Twins and the Indians. What's the likelihood that happens?
I'm going to say that I'm going to lean toward likely just because I really want this to happen. So this really isn't based on any kind of, insider knowledge except for the fact that I think it would be awesome. We all have to move on from Big Sexy at some point, Alexa, even you. And I think that this is a good way to do it. Yu Darvish is a really good pitcher. He's gotten stronger. I mean, remember, he missed a lot of time, Tommy John surgery a few years ago. He's come back. We can't let what happened in the World Series cloud the fact that he's, still one of the top pitchers in baseball, in my opinion. And I am just, I just jumped on that Twins bandwagon last year because there was so much to like about them. And we like the small market or the underdog, whatever you want to call them. But they have a tremendous fan base up there. And I think that would be awesome to see, like, not only like shelling out the money for Yu Darvish, but also, being able to like be players in that whole thing and have the Twins relevant in that way. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Bartolo Colon lives on forever as the best baseball player in the history of the game, Alyson, in case you forgot.
Alexa, I watched him pitch in Double-A 22 years ago. It's time for him to do something else.
I'll never let go. I'll never let go. Reports are coming out, speaking of the Twins, by the way, that Justin Morneau has accepted a position as a special assistant to the Twins in the front office. Does this mean that his playing days are over? How do you grade his career?
Yeah, I mean, he had a nice career, right? Didn't he win the batting title a couple of years ago? He's always been like that really like solid, good hitter. I mean, he played for the Rockies for a while, so everyone was like, oh, it's just because of Coors Field. But no, he was a very productive, very good contributor on the teams that he played for. I think he did it kind of quietly. He wasn't in huge markets where he was going to get a lot of attention, but that is a nice, solid career. And I like the fact that he is now moving on to his next career and doing it quickly. I would recommend that for all kinds of players who, retire at a younger age and still and need to just not sit around and think about how sad it is that they had to retire, which is quite frankly how that works. Now, a front office and if you join a coaching staff, the manager or the GM will say to you, you have to tell me right now, are you done playing? It has to be completely out of your system and out of your mind. And there can't be a morsel where you think that you're maybe going to make a comeback in a little bit, because we need a commitment from you in this new job, especially when you're going to be a coach, like a hitting coach. You have to know that you don't want to be a hitter anymore. And so I'm sure that they've had those conversations, and good for him. I'm always happy when I see good players retire and move right in to working for front offices or coaching or whatever, because I think that's the best thing for them.
Yeah, MVP back in 2006, a 4-time All-Star. The fact that, he does have that career and he will be able to mentor younger guys, I think is fantastic. I absolutely agree with you, so good for him. Alyson, before we let you go, first of all, we're welcoming Dani into our little 3-box here on the screen.
Hello.
Hi, Dani.
Hey.
And then we wanted to show you something. We were talking to Richard Justice yesterday, and he said you and him had a bet about our show. So we weren't aware of this at all, but apparently Richard goes ahead and spills the beans. Take a look what happened yesterday.
Oh, God.
We have a fan question for you, Richard.
Okay,
Are you
great.
ready?
I'm ready. Hey, am I the first guest of the new year? Because Footer and I had a bet. She didn't get on before me, did she? Just tell me she wasn't on the show before me. Because we got a bet.
We had Footer on before you. Sorry, Richard. What is going on? First of all, what is this bet, and why did he look so disappointed that he lost? What were the stakes?
I don't think that we actually made any kind of bet, but that is something that he would come up with in his own mind. That is vintage Richard Justice, just like, oh, hey, by the way, before we continue on, let me tell you this thing that never happened. Let me tell you a story that never happened. But if you need to go back to Richard with the answer specifically, I believe I was the first guest the first day back after the break. If I'm not mistaken, we'd have to look back at the calendar, but I do believe that I'm actually the very first person that you all called to be on.
You were the first, yes, you were the first
right.
guest of 2018. Yes, 100%. So not only did you beat him out, you beat everyone else out.
So wait, on top of this, guys, Richard, I don't know if he's working on his trolling or what, but he just tweeted this out, Alyson. On top of what you said, a lot of pressure on you considering they said yesterday was the best guest segment in program history. Richard Justice, troll drop extraordinaire. What is going on in this world? If you're watching right now, Richard, I just want to let you know you are one of our favorites. You and Alyson are, we love you guys, and it wouldn't be fair to pick one over the other.
That's right.
It wouldn't be fair.
That's right.
See, here's what's happening. Richard and I were very close. He is like one of my dearest, closest friends in life. We spent all kinds of time together in the postseason. And when we say spend all kinds of time together, like you literally have 2 inches between you when you're sitting in a press box, like during the playoffs, because it's just wall-to-wall people. And I don't want to say that maybe we got on each other's nerves, but perhaps there was a little bit of that. But, as soon as the World Series is over, like a week, I tell everyone, don't talk to me for a week. And then, you start missing each other a little bit. So I think this is just Richard just missing me a little bit.
He's crawling back into your life slowly but surely, and he's using Twitter and our show to do it. Hey, listen, I'm okay being a pawn in your guys' betting game. That's totally fine.
Yeah, at the end of the World Series, all the Houston media was like at AJ Hitch's office, and I said, after this month, I think we should all just get together for lunch in a couple days. Let's spend some more time together because we haven't quite done enough yet.
I'm sick of you all. Get out of my face. I know. I feel you. I've been there before. But we're not sick of you, Alyson, and we appreciate you always joining us here on the show. Thanks for your hot takes.
Thank you. It's always good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, you too. Go troll Richard on Twitter, and we'll keep this Twitter war going because it's our favorite. It's also National Bobblehead Day, or it was this weekend, Dani, anyway. And Cardinals had an interesting way of celebrating.
That's right.
Why not making a bobblehead for Dexter Fowler?
Why not do that?
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
And the best thing is he's never had a bobblehead before.
I can't believe that, actually. That's really shocking to me. But the best part is, look at this face.
It looks so much like him.
It looks exactly like him. This game, you can go get this bobblehead April 21st against the Reds. They'll be giving this away, and if by chance you don't see me sitting here in this chair, you should know exactly where I am. Or if our friends at the Cardinals are watching, feel free to send us some for the show. We'll give them away to other Cardinals fans who would thoroughly enjoy this incredible bobblehead.
We'll give them away to Dani's shelf full of Cardinals stuff that we should have given away to other people.
This shelf. I do have Bryce down here, though. Bryce is still here.
Yeah, he's still
He
there.
hangs out with me.
He needs a friend.
It's mine, not yours, by the way.
Dexter Fowler could come hang out with
Mine.
them. Yeah. All right, let's revisit our question of the day.
Let's do it. You're going to love this. So we asked you guys, based on the national championship game last night, going into overtime, what's the best extra inning game that you've seen, that you've been in person with, that you left early from in baseball? So Alyson talked about that 18-inning game in 2005, Astros Braves. Well, our friends at the Cubs who are watching, hello, thank you for watching, chimed in. They said we had a good one in November 2016. If you do recall that classic World Series game that ended their 108-year drought against the Indians was, in fact, done in 10 innings. And again, a classic. So thanks for hanging out with us today, Cubs fans. And then we also had Andy, who said Game 7, 2016, Cubs-Indians. Manny, 2003, ALCS Game 7, Aaron Boone walk-off home run.
It's a good one.
It's a great one.
Absolutely, the new Yankees manager.
That's right. Matthew, 2014 NLDS Game 2. Oh, those magical even years for the Giants. Over 6 hours long, Giants beat the Nats on Brandon Belt's 18th inning homer off Tanner Roark. Your guy, Yusmeiro Petit, threw 6 innings of one-hit ball and extras.
Yeah.
Clutch. What a game to remember.
I remember that game, yeah. Brandon Belt is a huge part of their team. It's going to be incredible. Hopefully, he's a big part of it this year, too, because they really need his bat.
They need something.
Yeah.
Anything.
They need some home runs is what they need.
Just a little life. They need life back in whatever's going on over there.
Yeah, you're right. There's a
the
lot
Bay Area.
they need.
That's right.
Dani, is there an extra inning game that stands out to you?
There is one in particular, which we haven't exhausted enough because you could never exhaust Game 5 of the 2017 World Series.
Yeah.
Astros. Obviously, there were 7 home runs combined in this game with the Dodgers. We were given the gift of free baseball, and Alex Bregman, of course, with his extra inning heroics, rips the walk-off single off Kenley Jansen. No less. Astros win in 10, and I never wanted this game to end, Lex.
I know, and it was so amazing to be able to watch the fans there at Minute Maid Park go absolutely crazy. The swing of emotion back and forth, but the fact that they were able to pull it out in the end was pretty incredible.
They were living and dying, as was I, with each pitch of the entire World Series, but especially this game. I was holding my breath every single time that ball came loose.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got?
I got an extra inning thriller that I was actually at when I worked for the Mets. It was at Citi Field back in September of 2016. Mets were in the wild card hunt, down 2, bottom of the 11th. Asdrubal Cabrera crushes one into the bullpen, and the place goes absolutely crazy. They beat the Phillies 9-8, and his bat flip, I think, was my favorite part of the entire thing. I don't think he even believed he could do it, because when the bat left his hands, it was almost like, are you kidding me? Like, he created his own fireworks in that exact moment, and I was standing right there. He had bleached his hair. It was something the whole team was doing, and it was an incredible moment to witness there in person, so that was my favorite so far.
To be there, the stadium's got to be shaking, electricity just running through your body. That's such a cool experience. I haven't had that yet, so fingers crossed. Maybe 2018 is my year for an extra inning thriller.
Let's go.
All right.
This is the year.
Let's do
All
it.
right. Our final story before we head out, we got one more story for you.
That's
We've got a fan who is vowing to do something that, Dani, you and I would probably love to do every day of our lives. He has pledged to play catch once a day for the entire year of 2018.
That's right. Shout out to Ethan Bryan, dedicating a small part of each day to playing catch. He's played with his daughters, his neighbor, his dad, and he's looking for more volunteers. So if you are in the Kansas City area and don't mind the sub-zero temps in Missouri, shout out to Ethan Bryan and let him know you want to play catch with him.
Yeah, he's got a couple of mantras, and one of them is baseball brings people together, which I think is really heartwarming. That's why we do this show, right? That's why everyone watches, and that's why we love the game. So, by the way, if you have any interest and you're ever in New York, come play catch with us. We would love to play catch with you.
Absolutely.
And Dani, if you're ever in Missouri, maybe you should hit him up and go play a game of catch.
I might have to do that. Maybe at April 21st when I go get that Fowler bobblehead, I'll just speed on over to Kansas City across the state and say what's up to Ethan.
You got your whole trip all planned out for you.
That's right. Missouri, that is the beautiful part of Missouri. The people like this who are just trying to spread some love and positivity through the game of baseball are my kind of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine kind too. Dani, happy Hot Take Tuesday.
Happy Hot Take Tuesday. I'll see you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.
Okay.
And we're going to see everyone else here on Wednesday, right? You guys are going to join us tomorrow. We're going to have another edition of 1225 Live, and we are going to have another guest join us. Big thanks to Alyson Footer for joining us today, Dani as well, as we broke down our hot takes. If you missed any of them, you can check it out on Facebook because the show will be posted there, and we'll be back tomorrow. So same time, same place. Make sure you are there. We'll be there too, and we'll see you then.